Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Roman Regret Podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tussey, and we drink and we know things.
And tonight it is May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 2020, and we are going to follow up our previous topic of the best sci-fi / fantasy non-sequel movies with our best sci-fi sequel movies. Sci-fi / fantasy.
Nailed it.
Yeah, got it. Sequels better than the OG.
No. Just sci-fi fantasy sequels, period.
Yes. Well, I'm just saying, yeah, but better than the OG.
Should we try this again?
No, why not?
I'm busting your balls. Let's keep going.
Yeah. So, cheers.
Yeah. Prost.
And as I think we should start with Joe, as always.
With you always is Joe.
Yes.
So, let's see. Sequels, sci-fi, fantasy. First on my list, which shouldn't be much of a surprise because of my topic last week, was Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the best sequel of all time.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, and it just, he got lightning to strike twice, which is very rare. And, we got to see Ripley become the action hero that she always should be instead of just the last survivor.
Right. The smart scientist that nobody listened to.
Right. Topical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And one of the best character uses of my last name. Drake.
Very true.
Saw that eye roll, Nate.
Yep.
Well, I wasn't going to bring up that Newt is my second middle name. So, twice removed.
Yes. And there's definitely some Vasquez's on my side of the family.
Right. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, in which I know a lot of women in my generation were very just enamored with Vasquez because that was one of the first movies where you really saw like a very strong like female that can kick it with the guys and isn't just like the damsel in distress that's kind of capable.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
she's
I mean,
kicking
like
ass.
the first time you see her, she's doing pull-ups and just going ham with the Marines. So
Well, yeah. Well, and her first scene is emasculating Bill Paxton, pretty much, right?
Yep.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, no, that's for sure. It did break a lot of sort of stereotypes in that. I mean, first off, Sigourney Weiner is the main sort of badass female of the movie, but then you also get, what are you two laughing about?
Can we walk that back? You said Sigourney Weiner.
Did I?
Or it sounded like it. And Joe and I
really
are both
did
like,
sound like it.
Well,
it's okay. We'll bring it back to the
excuse
car.
me. My
She's
goodness.
Very manly.
Oh man,
That's her alter ego with the ghost.
Yes, Sigourney. You have a room for Miss Sigourney Weiner? Weiner? Oh, no, it's not the it's not the actress. It's
The
Sigourney
unshot
Weiner.
Ace Ventura 1.5.
Yeah.
We're talking about the actual movie, not the porno spinoff.
What? Oh man,
100%. There was
way off
Sigourney
then.
Weiner. And
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, I'm totally not gonna
all
look
right.
for alien porn tonight.
Oh,
I promise.
Starring Bill Paxton.
Right. How do you search for alien porn without tentacles? Like, what's the Google search string? Like, alien plus porn minus tentacle? How does that work?
I think you got to have the parody.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh,
it's too
geez.
good. Sorry, Andy. It,
No.
it went to a good place. Did it?
I have nothing more to say about that.
What do you got, Joe?
On that note, second on the list is Terminator 2 Judgment Day, of course.
Yes.
It flipped the script, made the bad guy the hero, the damsel in distress becomes the badass, and we get to see Eddie Furlong as the little shit kid that everybody knew that wanted to beat their ass because they're annoying as hell.
Yeah, I'd put this up against Aliens as a better sequel, just because of what it does. I mean, Aliens completely turns that whole thing on its head just because now you have Space Marines and badass female leads, which is awesome. Terminator 2 took exactly. Terminator 2 took the bad guy and made him the protector. And you also have Linda Hamilton and a bunch of other badassery. I mean,
yeah.
What was the actor's name that played the liquid metal?
Oh, God.
Oh, Robert Patrick. Come on.
Thank you. Yeah. Have you seen this boy?
It's okay, Nate. I forgot to.
No, shame on you both.
Hey,
and it was my pick.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
Yes.
I feel like that was a much better movie in my opinion, and it had Ents in it, so Walking Trees.
It only counts as one. So many great lines. The Helm's Deep scene, Jesus.
Yeah, between the Ents and just all of Rohan, I was sold. So incredibly sold.
Yeah. Now, do you think that this was better than Return of the King?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was better than both Fellowship and Return of the King. And I'm sure I'll get lynched for saying that. But.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Return of the King won all the awards as an kind of an olive branch.
No, and I agree.
They passed over, but I mean, as far as the scope goes, Return of the King is obviously a much grander, larger undertaking. Personally, I prefer Two Towers over Return of the King, but I could go either way.
Yeah, it's funny. I get that, and it's true, and I mean, we can talk about this when we get to your list too. But like the number 2 movies of trilogies too, like the middle piece, if you will.
Yes.
Is nice Human Centipede, Paul.
I appreciate it. Middle piece, the reverse Oreo.
Yeah, it's it's always funny to get those in there too, because there's there's story progression, but then sometimes there's no resolution. And so, like, as a movie, sometimes number 2s are hard for me to sort of handle that. Anyway, that's what I think about it. That's what I feel.
And I feel like Two Towers was kind of a good little standalone piece. Like it progressed the whole story, and you get but like a lot of the stuff that they dealt with, it was kind of wrapped up in a nice bow. Like.
Well, and Helm's Deep as sort of a climax to that movie too was really good. Was really good to sort of put everything into perspective, and let sort of that little group come together and say, no, we need to fight these people, and then so I agree. I think Helm's Deep was sort of the right sort of climax for that movie. Anyway,
go on.
Climax. Climax?
Look to the east on the third day.
Yes.
I got that wrong.
But. Next on my list is Mad Max Fury Road, because it is visually absolutely stunning, and it brought Mad Max back to a new generation that a lot haven't seen any of them or are into that sort of thing. So,
what about Thunderdome in that situation?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree that Beyond Thunderdome was like was one of the greater sequels, because Mad Max was or what was it? It was Road Warrior first, right?
Warrior, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So no, and I mean those, like I said, but the progression of movies certainly got better in that, in that breath. So again, this was where I believe 2 eclipsed 1, and then 3 eclipsed 2 in that way.
Yeah. And I loved Charlize Theron in that, and actually Hardy, everybody in that movie, and I'm shocked they didn't make another movie.
Yeah,
how well it did.
I'm kind of glad they didn't, because it's it's kind of the same thing of like you get too many sequels. It was perfect the way it was. Just leave it alone.
I wanted to see more of those characters in that world, man. I could have loved to see how they would develop that out.
But you can
tribes raiding in and that kind of thing. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, but you can wait for a good story to come along, and not just rush a sequel through, and really get a really good story, which I think is what they're doing. So I hope anyway that's what they're doing. But I thought didn't the filmmaker just wasn't that one of his last? If I'm not mistaken.
Now come to think of it, who made it?
Come on,
Google it, Nate. Because it was the guy who made the original, wasn't it? Didn't he make Beyond Thunderdome, or wasn't it his story? Yeah, it was George Miller, didn't he pass? Or am I completely off?
No, still alive.
No, he's still, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he made Thunderdome and then this one.
Right.
Apparently, this is the fourth, not the third.
Yeah, it's Mad Max, then The Road Warrior,
Then
then
Thunderdome.
Thunderdome, and then
then Thunderdome. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Roger.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, Joe!
Cheers, nerds. Cheers, fuckers.
Yeah.
Hope you guys have something to drink. God damn it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to wrap up my list, I have X2, X-Men United, because Nightcrawler.
My name is Kurt Wagner.
It's so good. That Nightcrawler was so well done.
God, the opening scene in the White House is just so incredible to open up an X-Men movie, and it was so good because it was like nothing we saw in the first one.
Yeah, it's one of the best openings.
Oh yeah,
of any movie I can think of. I mean, End Game is up there, but more contemporary aside.
And how long did it take for Nate to bring up Avengers?
That would be 7 minutes and 4 seconds. Just, if you're looking for the number.
Yeah.
No, I love these movies, and I actually got Addie into these. I want to say it was the end of last year. We started watching the original X-Men, or the original X-Men. And she loved it. This one specifically, she really liked. I also showed her the newer iteration, First Class, and then Future Past.
Yeah.
I didn't go any farther than that because they went really downhill after that.
Right.
But, Future Past is one of my all-time favorites.
Oh, yeah.
As far as X-Men goes. And I'm just super excited that Kevin Feige has his hands on X-Men now. So
thank God.
I'm interested to see how that goes. I really like the casting of the sort of the First Class group. So I'm interested to see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I don't think they're keeping that, but how do you replace Fassbender as Magneto?
Yeah, and McAvoy is Professor X.
He does
like him.
Young. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, he's definitely a good young Professor X, and I mean, no one's gonna beat Patrick Stewart as Professor X. That's for sure. Sir Patrick Stewart. Sorry,
I don't think he can. I don't think he can play the in between because Fassbender could play them is that age and can play older.
Oh yeah.
So pre Patrick Stewart, pre Gray Pubes.
Yeah.
Who's your Professor X at that point?
Right.
Because I think Fassbender nailed Magneto. I mean, I'm sure that
absolutely.
But
yeah.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, it sounds totally superficial, but I can't buy James McAvoy in a bald cap. It just it's really hard to look at.
It is. If you had never seen him in anything before, maybe.
Right. But the fact that he was so well known, that does take you out of it a little bit.
I still watch that Wanted movie with him and Angelina Jolie.
Oh God, that is such a great movie.
A couple times a year.
Yeah.
Oh,
amazing soundtrack.
Amazing soundtrack.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, man, she's smoking in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, as we're hijacking.
And this is the Nate drools over a brunette corner of the podcast.
I had no idea. And the carpets match the drapes.
Oh jeez. Oh, and with that, let's move on to Nate.
I'm not ready. No, just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Do you need
I'm
a
just
minute,
kidding.
Nate?
So,
I
do need a minute. I actually could have filled this list up with all Marvel movies.
I'm surprised you didn't.
Well, yeah. So I've been typecast, and accurately so. Highest grossing movie of all time, Avengers End Game. So I'm gonna go back in time here, and we're gonna do Superman 2. These original Superman movies were just iconic for me growing up. Obviously, they predate me a little bit, but some of my all-time favorite things ever, and especially Superman 2 with Zod and his hot sister. I forget. I think maybe that's where the brunette thing started.
Maybe. Yeah.
In my formative years, I remember watching these when I was really young, like too young to probably watch animated, or not animated, but special effect violence. But this movie, I think, completely eclipses the first one. It was great to see Christopher Reeve as Superman in the original, but the second one had better villains and better side characters, I think, in general. And who can't like kneel before Zod is something that everyone says in general
Snoochie Boochie?
in the zeitgeist.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It made its way all the way to Kevin Smith. So love this movie. Can't get enough of it. Still watch it. It doesn't hold up, but
yeah. So if you want, do a deep dive into the making of this movie, Nate, which maybe you have, maybe you haven't. And there is, so the original Superman was something that my mother would put on if she needed to get work done around the house for a couple hours, and she would sit me in front of it, and I would be just mesmerized by the original Superman. And when Superman 2 came out, I felt the same way about it that you did, Nate. It was such a great continuation of that story. But several years ago, they came out with the quote unquote Donner cut of that movie, and that made me go into. There's a website out there that actually chronicles every sort of TV iteration of this movie and the different scenes that end up in this movie. And apparently, Richard Donner was filming this at the same time as Superman 1 and had a clear-cut vision for 1 and 2, but then was fired off of the second movie in early stages of sort of pre-production. And so they brought in Richard Lester, who had to finish the movie and ended up giving it a lot more of the comic feel that it was, more of the funny parts. But anyway, and we could do a whole podcast on that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I totally agree with you there. If I knew nothing about sort of the back of Superman 2, I would think that it's one of those almost perfect movies where it's just so good. And yeah, the villains were so great. But no, I'm so glad that you put this on your list.
Yeah, the Donner cut is actually the one I'm referring to. I should have put that on here.
Oh, okay. nicely done.
Yes, but thank you for
Good
completing
for you.
my thought. Good for me. Oh, thanks, Andy. I have value. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Joe
I'm here to
almost
back you up.
did a spit take with lacrosse. That's hilarious. Okay, so yeah, still going back in time. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Another one of those movies that I watched probably a little too young and had no idea who half of these actors were, but love the original. And I mean, Khan is also something that is shouted from the rooftops daily in the world. And I thought that the way that they developed this villain being basically unbeatable was something that we hadn't really seen before. And, you know, genetically engineered to be superior and incredibly strong and smart and that kind of thing. And just the gravitas for, spoiler alert, when he kills Kirk's son. And, you know, we don't give, oh, Jesus, I'm having the biggest brain fart ever. Moving on.
Well, Nate, as a nerd here,
please.
Khan did not kill Kirk's son. He was killed by the Klingons in Star Trek III: The Search for Spock.
I'm an idiot. Apologies.
Sorry, I gotta bust you on this.
No, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
But no, I totally agree. The Wrath of Khan, I mean, a lot of movies are better than the original Star Trek movie.
Yes, that's true.
And this, you know, this movie sort of, I think this was the movie that really put the Star Trek movie sort of on the map and gave it sort of the impetus to keep going as far as it did. Just because of the performances and just because of the story, and to tie it back to the original series where the original movie was just so aesthetically different than the series, you know, even though we had that big time jump between when the original series was made and when the movies were made.
Right.
But no, I totally agree with you that this is.
Yeah, sorry for the brain fart there. I completely crossed the streams on that one.
No, that's
what
okay.
So obviously what I was trying to say was that William Shatner doesn't get enough credit because his acting in that movie was actually pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, anyway, moving on. So let's go a little bit later in the timeline. Empire Strikes Back, my favorite Star Wars movie and my all-time favorite sequel. Super dark, a lot of spoilers. amazing reveals. I mean, can you name a reveal that's more like holy fuck than the Vader thing? Even though he's called Darth Vader, and that literally translates to Dark Father.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't think of a reveal off the top of my head that is more impactful than I'm your father. Like, I don't know.
It's that or Kaiser Sose.
Yeah, right. Kaiser Sose.
Yeah.
We could probably put a sidebar on that for biggest reveals in cinema or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a huge movie, and I think this is the first one I saw in the theater.
Okay.
I don't think I was old enough even. I'm pretty sure. I know I saw Return of the Jedi in the theaters, and I'm pretty sure my dad took me with him to go see this. But
yeah.
Holy fuck! Just the opening Hoth scene.
God.
I can rewatch that over and over, and this is one thing that EA got right with Battlefield 2 is the scope of that kind of Hoth battle and the AT-AT or AT-AT. Which way do you guys lean on that?
I call it AT-AT. I go AT-AT. Yeah.
I think it goes both ways. I think technically it's an AT-AT, but the slang is AT-AT.
Right. Yeah.
But so just that whole scene and I mean the entire movie in general is fucking amazing. Love it. Always watch it. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, that's and again it's arguably the best Star Wars movie ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It was just it's the Rebels just not catching a break, and it was such a good way to put the story in, because I mean Star Wars happened and this ragtag group of guys end up defeating the Death Star, and then sure enough they come back and you realize this is a dark time for the rebellion, and you're like, okay, go on. And sure enough, it gets darker and darker from there. And I totally agree. There are few sequels that eclipse such a great movie like Star Wars, like this movie.
Right.
So, yeah.
Quick pop culture quiz. I'm sure you guys know this, but this was on a Trivial Pursuit card while I was waiting in the theater for Phantom Menace to start. What were the last words in Empire and who said them? The last spoken words in Empire and who said them?
So it is, okay, if you want to get technical, R2-D2 has the last utterance.
He doesn't speak words. You know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Don't actually me on this question.
Okay, it is Lando saying, we will meet you at the rendezvous on Tatooine. And I'm wrong by your face.
Yeah. Joe, you got a guess?
I have no idea.
So it's I Know by Han Solo right before he gets frozen in carbonite. Those are the last spoken words in that movie.
No, not true.
I got it right. It was on the card. Maybe in the new version, in the updated version.
Yeah. Which version are we talking
the
here?
Original release.
Okay. I'm going to have to disagree with you there.
Actually.
Okay. Side trivia.
This one says, "May the Force be with you." That's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh no! He does say that though. He says, "We'll meet you at the rendezvous point at Tatooine, and may the Force be with you."
No,
That's
I swear
Lando.
I won this fucking bet when I were on this trip.
Well, you won on a lie.
No,
Nate.
it was on the goddamn card.
Well,
okay. Well, my nerd cred is going way down the toilet.
way
So let's just
down
move
tonight.
on.
Hold on. Actually, side trivia. Do you guys know what the line during the reveal during filming, the line that David Prowse said?
No.
He said, Obi-Wan killed your father. That was the original line there, but they changed it in the post to because that was the reveal at that point was going to he had two ideas of how he wanted to take it, and he ended up taking it in the father route.
This is not my entire life is a lie.
And it's come here. We've revealed it here on the Rum and Regret podcast. Ladies and gentlemen,
That's
May
not
5th,
right.
2020, Nate lost the trivia challenge at the movie theater,
That is not correct.
and he's just realizing this now. Let's give him a minute to process.
Okay, I guess technically Luke says "ow" when his hand gets pricked on the fucking medical ship, but whatever. Jesus, let's fucking get into it. I don't understand why that was on the
lies.
All right, I'll have to do some research because I'm going to justify this somehow. Moving on. Let's go to The Dark Knight.
Oh yeah,
just a perfect movie. In my opinion, and to date, I still think the best Joker iteration. Although there are many that are close, not many. There are two that are close. And in general, I wish Christopher Nolan had been to DC what Kevin Feige and some of those directors like Favreau had been to Marvel, because I love his version of these movies.
Oh yeah.
Christian Bale nails it on both ends as Bruce Wayne and the Bat. I think Affleck did a decent job as Bruce Wayne, not so good on the Bat side. But these movies in general are awesome, and The Dark Knight is just spectacular. There are a couple things that I would probably tweak on it, some slow moments, but so much better than the first one. The first one was pretty good. The third one was not as good, although watching it again, it actually is better than I remember it. But I just love The Dark Knight in general. I love the deep tone, the gravitas. Obviously, it's a Batman movie, but they really go for it with the dark shit and with Heath Ledger's Joker. And I think my favorite part of that movie is the pencil disappearing trick.
Oh man.
It's such a brief clip out of that entire movie, but it totally sets the tone for who the Joker is.
Yeah. Those movies felt, and it was a conscious decision, but they felt so real. It looked like it could be. It was a comic book movie, but it didn't feel like a comic book movie. It's like I feel like that was the thing that really pulled me into those movies, was like, no, some millionaire out there really went crazy and thought he could be a Batman. I could see this on the news.
Mm-hmm.
So
And they made all the gadgets and the cars and stuff real. It's like you didn't have like the Batmobile with these big winged fenders that looks kind of ridiculous. It was like, like you could see this being a military vehicle that some rich dude bought.
Yeah,
the Tumbler was great.
The Tumbler was so good as the Batmobile, man.
Yeah, I loved Morgan Freeman as Fox in that also.
Oh,
he did a great job in that role.
Yeah, definitely. And Kane as Alfred. Come on. Yeah, Michael Caine was just so good as Alfred too.
Yeah, amazing as Alfred.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see him as the Alfred that kicks everybody's ass, that pokes up in the comic books once in a while.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Just get him some serious combat training.
Right.
Couldn't pull it off.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so love that movie. So last and definitely not least, like Andy, hand on his head, Avengers End Game, because it's the sequel to Infinity War and is the penultimate movie in cinematic history. Penultimate would have been the second to last, so I said that wrong. It is the ultimate sequel in my mind, just because of what it does as far as stitching together 10 years of cinema and 23 movies. So love this movie. Dressed up to go see this movie. Sorry, Addie dressed up to go see this movie. I brought the Infinity Gauntlet and watched it with a room full of dressed up nerds and cried a few times, mainly when Addie jumped up and was just super into it in her kind of Thor costume with Mjolnir. So I know this movie I'm biased towards this movie because of that experience with her. That being said, I will watch this movie until I die. It's really good, and I really wish they had released an IMAX cut so I could get the scope. And I really wish they had mixed the audio a little bit differently for people that don't have fucking Atmos in their living room. But God damn it, it's so good, and the special features on the disc are just amazing. And I would love to see like an extra long cut of this. Like I want a uncut Lord of the Rings style version.
3 hours wasn't enough for you?
Of these two movies. Yeah, I guarantee you they cut things out of here cut things out of these movies that was important, or at least could have added more to them. So I would definitely go for an 8-hour Infinity Saga, those two movies. So love it.
Nice.
Andy doesn't.
Nice. No, I agree with you. This is a great movie. I had no idea that after Infinity War that this is where it was going to go, in terms of sort of the time travel and, oh, hey, we need to get the Infinity Stones and basically do what he did to us.
The time heist.
Yeah. And it was such a great sort of, hey, we're not, we're regrouping, but we're not regrouping. And that one simple fact of giving Iron Man a kid and saying, just bring them back, but don't undo anything of the last 5 years. It was that's such a powerful point in the movie where it was like, yeah, a lot of crap's happened in the last 5 years, but a lot of good's happened in the last 5 years, so we can't erase it.
Right.
And having that sort of asterisk on fixing the timeline, just like, well, okay, shit.
Right. Let's not make it easy for them.
Yeah. Yeah, make a meatloaf, but don't use any meat. It's like, shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Tofu loaf? No.
Yeah.
Lots of almond flour.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, God, I don't know. I think you guys probably would enjoy this movie more if you had not been spoiled like crazy.
That's true. I
would agree with that.
I 100% believe that's the way that would have gone down. Because seeing it just completely blind, or not blind, I guess, previews and all that, but as far as plot points go, completely blind. There was oh shit moment after oh shit moment, and I know I've said this in the podcast before, but the moment that Captain America gets Mjolnir, Addie is standing and shaking my arm and screaming, "He's worthy! He's worthy!" And that makes it the best movie ever for me. Yeah, so that rounds out my top 5. And,
nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice. All right, so I picked similar franchises, Nate. I just want to let you know. So in the I will say the original series Star Trek movies, the original cast, I think The Voyage Home is actually the strong movie of that saga.
I agree. This is the clear aluminum, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
The whales.
Transparent aluminum. Yeah.
Fucking love that movie.
Computer. Hello, computer.
Love that movie.
By
Just
far
use the
my
keyboard.
favorite Star Trek movie.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously.
And it was with the least amount of Enterprise in it, which is incredible, right? It's like,
it
how
was
can you
filmed
tell?
at the Monterey Bay Aquarium.
I know. It's so cool.
I know.
Yeah, I know. No, it was just it was such a departure from all the other Star Trek movies, but it just harkened back to original Star Trek, and they're coming home to face the music for all the crap that they did to get Spock back, and sure enough, humpback whales. Like that was such a cool.
And sure
reveal.
enough, Coors Light can in space.
All right, yeah. But it was just such a cool reveal, and I mean, one of those really sort of great messages. It's like, yeah, they fucked up their environment and ended up dooming all of mankind by hunting these things. It was just, I just thought it was such a cool spot.
Totally agree. Yep, I love that movie.
Anyway, if I stay on the Star Trek kick, I want to say that Star Trek First Contact is the best movie of the Next Generation series.
Yep, agreed.
Generations was sort of an okay introduction to them, but I mean, First Contact and the Borg, arguably probably the best, most fearsome Star Trek enemy out there. Klingons are friends now, so can we count them as enemies still? I don't know. Can we? But yeah, First Contact was, again, just one of those movies where, it's not, again, these, and unfortunately Hollywood has sort of come to these, oh, I have a fleet of 400 people. Well, I have a fleet of 400 people and we're all going to attack. And it's like, no, you don't need that. It was a rogue Borg cube that jumps back in time and ends up assimilating the Earth. Which you get that one scene when they're traveling through the time vortex of a Borg-infested Earth, which is just so cool. And then that they go back and they harken it back to the first time that humans meet Vulcans, and it's just such a great movie. And it was one of those movies that really made me. I mean, I've never I don't know that I've never really tired of Star Trek, but it was one of those movies that got me back into Star Trek and really got me excited about it. So anyway,
very cool.
Yeah. In the Batman universe, I'm going to go back to the Burton Batmans and say that Batman Returns was better than the original Batman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly there.
Yeah. I don't know. There was just, something about, and it's hard to dismiss Jack Nicholson's Joker. It really is.
Really?
He is such a great Joker, and he brought so much to that role. But I don't know, there was just something about the sort of the level of villains they had in Batman Returns, where where you have the sort of the anti-hero in Catwoman and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Pardon the pun.
Oh man! Oh god, that suit. Oh, give me a minute.
Or better, her Halle Berry.
Yeah,
I'm going
right.
The movie was way worse, but
oh man! And then you have DeVito's Penguin, which was just so good as the Penguin.
He
and
was great.
Yeah, and then you have Christopher Walken as Max Schreck. It's just, I don't know. It was just Burton was just on another level for that movie, and I don't know. It's just something about that movie that I love, and I think eclipsed the original Batman for me anyway.
It was perfect for his level of creepiness, like with all the little the little birds in the penguin cave, and
and his flippers and shit.
Oh man, it was so great.
Chester Cobblepot. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Cobblepot.
Oh god, yeah, just so good. Next, Nate, I'll bring it into the Marvel just for a little bit.
This is pre-Marvel, pre-Marvel Cinematic
MCU.
Universe. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. So the Sony Marvel Cinematic Universe.
There you go.
Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2, I think, with Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Was a lot better than the original.
I loved the original. I thought it was a really great. I mean, obviously, it was the first Spider-Man movie we'd seen in forever. But
yeah,
and I thought they did a great job. I like the origin, the way they changed it to like organic web shooters and that kind of thing. And
right.
I had fun with that, but you're totally right. The second one was so much better.
Oh yeah.
And just Dr. Octopus needs to be in more things. I can't wait to see what they do with him in the MCU.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's going to be like a Sinister Six movie coming up that'll be just out of control. That's probably going to be their introduction with him in the MCU.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, really fun.
That was just such a good movie, and I like that they that they didn't just dismiss the whole Green Goblin storyline and kept James Franco in there and continued that storyline too. So I don't know. It's just again one of those things where the second movie you expect to sort of find them in better places than they were in the first movie, and they aren't. They're not.
Yeah, it follows a pattern.
Yeah. And so, it was really good for me.
Now, is this the one where you got the dickhead Spider-Man, where he gets the venom in him?
No, that's 3.
Is that the third one?
Yeah, that's 3.
That's the dark dancing Tobey Maguire.
Well,
completely ruins.
And that's the Topher Grace Venom, right?
Yeah. Oh my God! Look, who the fuck thought that would be a good idea?
Right. Yeah.
Hey, I know. Let's find somebody who's smaller and more wafy than Tobey Maguire. Yeah. How about Topher Grace?
Right.
Oh my God.
Oh God. Swing and a miss.
Seriously, can you just put a football player in the movie and just Brock, please?
Come on.
Oh, terrible.
And my last sequel, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
You chose wisely. I fucking love this movie.
Oh God. Start to finish, this movie just doesn't slow, and it is just it's one of those I hate to say perfect movies for me, but it is. It's such a good movie. Just the back and forth between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery is so good. Oh. And it really brought it back to sort of, the good versus evil Raiders of the Lost Ark feel to it, but it did it in such a better way, I thought. So
yeah, every time I watch this movie, I miss Sean Connery.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in a ton of movies, and I mean, The Rock is probably one of the more contemporary ones for us, but I can't not watch this movie if it's on.
Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Carla was the prom queen. No, you got to start with their best. Yeah.
Right.
Whine about their best. This terrible impression. I haven't done that in forever. Yeah, anyway, so love this movie from start to finish. Love the fact that they fuck the same blonde German chick.
Oh, God, so good.
Love the fact that what does he call it? He pulls out his umbrella and scares all the seagulls off the beach and kills the guy in the plane. And then God damn it, I'm missing the one-liner.
I remembered my Charlemagne.
Exactly.
Let my army be the
beasts of the land and the birds in the sky, or something
right,
like
there
that.
You go. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was so good. I mean, God, you can't. I'm gonna watch this movie tonight. Now that
there you go. There you go.
So good. Joe, you got any feedback? Sorry, I'm hogging the mic.
I just remember always, like, my mom would always be like, Jehovah's spelled with an I.
The penitent.
We named the dog Indiana.
Yeah, right. You're named after the dog. It's like a Solid episode.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so good.
Oh God. Anyway, that's my list. Let's throw into honorable mentions.
Yeah, let's do that. Jovan, you want to start?
Honorable mentions. I've got Conan the Destroyer.
Oh man.
Because I think it's easily as good as Barbarian.
Dude, both. This is such a good movie.
I can't not watch both of them. It's just like I know when I start Barbarian, I'm just going to put Destroyer on right afterwards. And
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's just the way of it.
Yeah. Did anybody see the Momoa Conan?
Nope. I can't bring myself to do it, even though I love Jason Momoa. It's not Arnold. It's not Conan.
Right. Yeah. No.
I feel the same about like Terminator. I'm like, there's no Arnold. It's not Terminator.
Right. Yeah. Although he was in the last one.
Yes.
But I have not seen it, to be honest.
I have not. Yeah, I've not seen it either. I know we get Linda Hamilton and Arnold back and nothing.
The aged Terminator.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm kind of afraid of it on a subconscious level because I know it's just not going to be as good as the first two.
If they don't MST3K that movie and somebody says, oil can, they failed.
Right. Yeah.
A couple other honorable mentions. Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
Even though it's essentially the same movie as Evil Dead 1.
Yeah, but still.
It is.
And Army of Darkness subsequently is... I think that counts as the sequel,
Yeah,
for sure.
Totally. Yeah.
Jurassic World, because I feel like it's the first Jurassic Park sequel that wasn't a ham-fisted cash grab.
Yep.
It actually had a decent story and made sense to make.
No, totally. You're not wrong. Yeah.
And the original Destroy All Monsters and then the new Godzilla King of All Monsters, because more monsters is always better.
Yeah.
So those were the ones where you go from Godzilla by himself to, they introduce all the other monsters, Mothra, Ghidorah, and such, Rodan.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Yeah.
I liked King of the Monsters, whatever the latest one was. They did a pretty decent job, I thought.
Yeah.
I wish they had more monsters in it, though.
They had all of them, though.
Well, I know. I just meant
unless
I
you
wish
want to
they
throw
had
King Kong and Mechagodzilla
No, I mean,
in there.
that's going to happen apparently, but I wish they had spent more time with the other ones as opposed to them being just kind of one-off.
Yeah, I would love to see a Mothra movie with this Mothra. That would be epic because she was beautiful. And I want to see the two tiny girls.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah.
But yeah, those are my honorables.
Nice.
Chwet.
I like it. All right, and now let's go to the Marvel section of the
The
honorable
section.
mention.
I'm going to intersperse other movies.
Well done.
So I put. We'll start with Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So I think this is the best Marvel movie in general. I think outside of Infinity War, those two movies, just because it did a great job, kind of changing the genres of all of these Captain America movies. The first one was a war movie. This one is a spy movie. Civil War is obviously more of an in-depth kind of not espionage, more of an in-depth kind of character study. But I loved the spy movie aspect of this, and they did a great job kind of tying a bunch of the backstory together.
Hail Hydra.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hail Hydra. And I love ScarJo in this movie, because who doesn't? And I loved a bunch of the reveals from this. The only thing I didn't really like was the whole helicarrier thing. It was a pretty major part of the movie, but I didn't like it. I wish they had done something else other than giant carriers in the sky with guns shooting everybody.
Yeah, I think that
a little
was
ham-fisted.
It was a little bit, and that's why I was surprised that you chose this movie.
Yeah,
because I think Civil War's the better of the better of the Captain America sequels, but
yeah,
that's just me.
That's just you. I know.
Yes.
Let's go off of there. I put Hellboy 2 on here as a great sequel. So the first one was amazing. The first movie for Hellboy was great.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Golden Army. Hellboy 2 was amazing, and God damn it, I really wish they could have finished off the trilogy.
Yeah, I almost put this one on my list.
Yeah. I like this movie so much. Apparently, I bought it twice because I have 2 copies of the Blu-ray on my shelf over here.
Oh man,
I love it. I love the creatures. I love how they got to play a lot more after the first one and the success of the first one. There's some truly terrifying things in this movie, like the tooth fairies.
Oh
yeah.
And I love what they did with I don't know if they call them elves specifically, but the brother and sister are basically dark elves. But I love what they did with duality there, and I love the weapon handling that the brother had.
That fight sequence is
absolutely amazing. And the force of nature towards the end was amazing. And,
and surprisingly, I thought I wouldn't like it, but the spoiler alert, the baby storyline, Hellboy becoming a father, it brings tears to my eye every time.
Go on, open.
I have a little dark heart in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And her heart grew 3 sizes that day. All right, so we're going to kick it back to the MCU and go Spider-Man Far From Home. So I love what they did with the new iteration of Spider-Man. Tom Holland is the best live-action Spider-Man in my opinion, and I will watch him do Spider-Man all day. He's brilliant.
I totally agree.
Especially being from across the pond, does the Boston or not Boston, Jesus, the New York accent really well. Boston, where the fuck did that come from? Brooklyn, I think maybe is what I was thinking of. But
right.
Anyway, so it does a great job, and Far From Home easily eclipses the first one. Mysterio is fucking great, and Jake Gyllenhaal nailed it. The after credit scene is a fucking holy shit moment in the MCU. So if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it. I'm sure people have, but
just the whole night monkey part of it was great too.
Night monkey.
Yes.
So good. He almost got some strange French lady in the bathroom. Really just a great movie in general. And I really loved how they made Mysterio like the classic fishbowl, but super high tech.
Right.
And loved it.
Well, and again, not to be too spoilery, but I did love how they brought it back to the original Iron Man in that way. Even though Iron Man's dead and gone at this point, we'd still get a storyline that connects to him in that way, which is great.
Yeah, Edith, even dead, I'm the hero.
Right. Yeah.
This is the best shit ever. What does Edith stand for? Even dead, hero. Like, oh God, giant eye roll. It's amazing. I love that they had oh God, what's the name? The actor that plays Jonah Jameson.
Oh yeah. No. Blah, blah, blah.
Come on.
Simmons.
Thank
Simmons.
you. So from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans all the way back to the most recent Spider-Man, he is now canonized as J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU. Love it.
Yeah.
I love that they made it like a tabloid situation too. That's great.
Right. Yeah.
Excuse me. Okay, so let's see. After that, I put 28 Weeks Later. So I know this isn't really sci-fi fantasy, but it's zombies created by science, right? Virus.
Let's see. Hold on, judges. We'll allow it.
It's less of a stretch than Big Trouble in Little China. So we're gonna let it go.
I almost had it on my list, so
yeah.
I will allow it.
Fucking amazing movie. I need to watch these again. I haven't seen these in forever, which is a crime. But fucking amazing movie and one of my all-time favorite zombie movies. Period.
Yeah, Robert Carlyle kills it, and then the girl who plays the daughter is just amazing.
Yep. Also kills it.
Yeah. Hi.
All right, so my last honorable mention here, we'll go back to Marvel real quick. Thor Ragnarok, because holy fuck.
God, this is the best Thor movie by far.
I am so happy that Taika Waititi is directing a Star Wars movie. I cannot stand it. So if you didn't see the announcement today, I shared it on the page.
Yeah.
God, we'd heard it was going to happen potentially, and now it's official, and we probably won't see it for years and years thanks to the fucking COVID-19, but thank God, and please be safe, Taika. You are a worldly treasure, not just for your nation, but for all. Thor Ragnarok, holy fuck.
Yeah.
So good. Jeff Goldblum is amazing in this. Everybody, Tessa, what's her name?
Tessa
Thompson, thank you. As drunk Valkyrie in the beginning.
Right.
Fucking just absolutely killed me drinking the 40 and falling off the gangplank to her ship. Just the relationship between Thor and the Hulk in this is great in general. I love pre-Banner, so before he gets able to change back into Bruce Banner, the back and forth between them and his room, in Hulk's giant room, is fucking hilarious. I just love this movie to death, and we'll continue to watch it kind of over and over. Cate Blanchett absolutely nails it as Hela. She's so quickly has become my favorite. I mean, she's been around forever, but as far as best supporting actress in almost every one of my favorite movies.
Right.
She's like, because she's Galadriel too, right?
Right. Yeah. What color is her hair in Thor? I'm trying to remember.
No, I'm not. I'm saying I appreciate her amazing work.
Thor,
I wasn't saying I wanted to bone her. Although,
here it comes.
I mean, I'm down. So
come on.
I absolutely love.
You want to go slumming, and you're in the Bay Area.
I loved the memes that went around where it shows her and Loki and then Thor, and it's like, what happened here?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
That's funny. Yeah, just amazing movie, and Jeff Goldblum absolutely nails it in such the most Goldblum way in some of these lines. It's like, how old are you? Or I forget. God damn it! Now what's the line? I'm gonna lose it. He basically goes through. He has a couple different lines where he's talking and then just trails off and does the whole like affect, whole hand gesture, and so much fun. So I agree with you. Best Thor movie by far. And I love the reason. Sorry, last thing. The reason this is on my list. Obviously, it's the best Thor movie, but it also ushers in the current version of Thor, which is the best Thor, which actually has a sense of humor and isn't like the high Shakespearean Kenneth Branagh version from the first movie.
Right.
So I'll leave it at that.
Although I didn't mind the Kenneth Branagh Thor at all. I thought that was a fucking great movie.
I love that movie.
And funny, who was the female lead in that movie? Trying to remember.
That's okay, because Natalie Portman is on
that's
both our
right.
lists.
Yes, it is
another
Natalie
brunette.
Portman. That's right.
But let's not forget the Lady Sif, because
oh God, no, Jamie Alexander.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You got to watch. What's her show?
Blind Spot.
No. Yeah, there you go. Blind Spot. That's it. Blind Spot. Yeah.
She's so
quick side note: they just released the Mandalorian galleries on Disney Plus. If you can watch the director roundtable, they do a little sidebar on Taika Waititi, and it's great. It's really funny. Obviously, he starts it off with his wit and everything, but then he brings it back into just how he got excited about, But they brought him in as sort of the veteran action director, which because he did Thor, but it was funny because he started off and he says, when we were starting to make movies, it was just like, okay, well, you write it, I'll direct it, because no one wanted to give them work, and it was just. And then now he's sort of the big action director on the block, which is great. And I couldn't be more excited for him to pen and direct a Star Wars movie. So with that, we'll roll into my honorable mention list, which contains way more Marvel movies than I ever expected to put on a list. But I just have to do it. Nate, you brought this up earlier, but X-Men Days of Future Past. It was such a great sort of melding of the new and old cast too, and I love when they do this in movies, and that they don't just sort of crap on the other people who have played these roles and everything, but they bring it into an actual coherent storyline, and it was just so good. It was so well done.
Peter Dinklage was amazing in it.
Oh God, yeah, so good, and I think it was just one of my favorite X-Men movies to date, by far. Keeping on that Marvel kick, Logan, I think, was just one of those movies that just sort of, took, sort of turned the genre on its side, and you had all these different Wolverine movies that come out, and then, you're just like, nah, screw it. Let's do this one. Let's do this story. And it was such a, different iteration
R-rated,
of him. In his life. And then you see, the older Professor X, which is just so, again, you see these people, you're so used to seeing them sort of in their prime and good and like strong and like 100%. And nobody's 100% in this movie, which is so good. And it's just, I just think that the way it was shot, and just like the feel of the movie was just so good. Anyway, and to round out my Marvel character movies here, Blade 2 I thought was way better than Blade 1. Although the trilogy, and when you get to a third movie, although the third movie did have Jessica Biel in it.
Yeah, it did. What color was her hair in that movie, Andy?
Right,
I'm trying to remember.
This is where I'm going to disagree. I think Blade, the original Blade, is amazing, and I'm really not a big fan of the sequels.
Okay.
Yeah, the first Blade is
even
superior.
Ryan Reynolds really couldn't even fix
good.
it for me.
The third one is just super slapsticky. It's like Deadpool and Blade, basically.
Yeah. By far the worst use of my last name in a movie was Blade 3. To bring it back there. But then we don't have to talk anymore on the Blade. But I thought 2 eclipsed 1. Anyway,
I love 2. I love what they did with the vampires feeding on vampires and the disease and everything. I really enjoyed that. And the Night Stalkers and having to work with them, and I really enjoyed it a lot. I think I can see where Blade 2 could definitely be better than Blade 1 in certain people's eyes. I think Blade 1 did such a great job of introducing that character, and Wesley Snipes and Stephen Dorff and God, what's the supporting guy always gets his arm cut off?
Donald Long.
Donald.
Donald
Long. Just a great cast of characters, and they did an amazing job in Whistler and everybody, Christopher Stofferson. I think the third one is kind of it has some really cool elements in it, but damn it, it's such a throwaway. It has really Oswald in it. I love Patton Oswalt. It's such a good movie, and I think they're all really good. The first one, I think, for me though, is super iconic, and the soundtrack is fucking amazing.
Oh God, amazing. No, that's true. Yeah,
really, the first one, it's just that was one of my very favorite movies for a very, very long time. Yep. So it's kind of like it's like Mortal Kombat for me. It's untouchable.
Totally agree.
Right. Oh yeah.
that's a really good kind of barometer on the movies. Is if it's on, will you watch it? And the first Blade, if it's on, I will always watch it. The other ones, not always.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Okay. No, I get you.
I have one to add.
Hold on,
wait, no, you're not done yet.
Hold
Sorry.
on. I got one left.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. My last honorable mention is Back to the Future 2. Back to the Future 1 was such a great movie, and it really brought it in. But I mean, just the scope of Back to the Future 2. And even 3 for that matter, going back to the Old West. These were just great movies, and I thought they did get better as they went on. And so I think Back to the Future 2 is just, again, we're time heisting a bit, but man, I love it. I thought it was great. And just that one, that scene where he just sends him back to 1985, and then he's running around the corner back to him, which is just so good. Back to the Future. That this trilogy holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, agreed. Well, we have our self-lacing shoes now. Where's my goddamn hoverboard?
Right, exactly.
What they're trying to sell us is not hovering.
No. Yeah, it's got wheels on it. Right. There is no hover.
Yeah, if the wheels turned under and then levitated like the car did, cool.
Right. Yeah. Come on.
Acceptable format.
Come on.
Yep. They did do a good job with the 3D Jaws, though.
Oh, yeah. So good. Yeah. If I could go back and put some money on the Cubbies, I would.
Right. It was a great movie.
Yep. All right, Nate, I believe you added a movie?
I added one at the end because you were going through your Marvel list, and I have to say Deadpool 2 in this because it was fucking amazing. I'm sorry. You get an R-rated Deadpool, thanks to Ryan Reynolds, and then we get a second R-rated Deadpool, thanks to Ryan Reynolds. And this movie has, since all of us are talking about X-Men at some point, this movie has the best juggernaut in the history of cinema.
Agreed.
It's only happened a few times, but the other times were terrible. The fact that in the background, when the Juggernaut gets revealed, the music goes, holy shit, it's the Juggernaut. Like, just that part, and like, I'm going to rip you in half now, and he rips Deadpool in half. Like, oh my God.
Right.
So amazing. Introduction of Cable into the MCU. I'm not sure how I feel about the actor as Cable.
Josh Brolin, really?
Yeah, I like Josh Brolin, but Cable in my mind is the Jim Lee 90s Cable, like giant black dude with a beard and the crazy eye. And if he was still alive, oh God, what's his name? From Green Mile and Armageddon.
Oh, Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark Duncan. That's who I could see being Cable.
I gotcha.
I'm just so glad that they addressed the elephant in the room and made the Thanos joke.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so thankful it sounds ridiculous, but I'm just so thankful that Ryan Reynolds loves Deadpool as much as he does. Otherwise, this movie never would have gotten made. He's the one that leaked the footage at Comic-Con and got these things going, and you could tell he's that character. I mean, he was that character in Blade 3.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey,
look, I've got a couple swords and stuff, and I'm a wisecracking asshole. So, anyway, that's my final say there.
Oh, yeah.
I got to sneak in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody mentioned it, but...
Well, it's not better than the first one.
That's true, but it's equally as good.
Yeah, it is a great movie.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell's nails that.
Oh, yeah. So good.
Yep.
So good. Anything else? All right. So what were your favorite sci-fi / fantasy sequels? Let us know in the comments below. You can find us on Facebook at Rum and Regret or on Twitter at rum_regret. Joe, where can they find you on the socials?
Joe Chickadee on the socials or joechickadee.com.
Okay, Nate?
You can find me at Avid Gamer, AV1D Gamer, all one word.
All right. And you can find me at Crazy Drake on Facebook or Andrew Drake on Twitter. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful. We hope you guys are doing well. And we have spoken.
Shit, I missed it. God damn it.